through it. The reason why I like Golo is plain and simple, it was easy. I didn't have to grit my teeth and do a diet. Golo is a lifestyle change, and you make the change, and it stays off. Golo has changed my life in so many ways. I sleep better. I eat better. Took my shirt off for the first time in 25 years. It's Golo. It's all Golo. It's smarter. It's better. It will change your life forever.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services by attorney Trey Days. Attention all business owners. Did you own a business with 4 or more full-time W-2 employees between October 2020 and September 2021? If so, you may be entitled up to $26,000 per employee as part of the CARES Act, which provides financial compensation to business owners in the form of a check you can deposit as a reward for retaining your employees during the pandemic. Let us help you find out if you're entitled to free government money. If your business was impacted by the pandemic between October 2020 and September 2021, and you had at least 4 full-time W-2 employees, don't miss out on your opportunity for compensation. There's no cost to apply, and you owe us nothing unless we recover for you. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-927-0644. 1-800-927-0644.
Hi, I'm Shannon Storms-Bedore. When we started selling my health products online, our shipping process was painfully slow. Then we found ShipStation. Now we're shipping out orders 5 times faster. And thanks to ShipStation's discounted rates, we're saving a ton. Honestly, we couldn't do it without ShipStation.
Join over 100,000 online sellers who get shipped done with ShipStation. Go to shipstation.com/TV and get 2 months free.
Attention, were you exposed to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune?
Congress has just passed the Camp Lejeune Justice Act, which makes billions of dollars available to victims of the toxic water supply. If you or your family were exposed, you may be entitled to a share of that money.
If you lived or worked at Camp Lejeune, even if you're not military and have suffered any of these serious health problems, call 1-800-537-6700. That's 1-800-537-6700.
A must in your medicine cabinet. Less sick days.
Cold coming on? Zycan is the #1 cold shortening brand.
Highly recommended.
Zycans love Zycan's unique zinc formula.
It shortens colds.
Zycan zinc that cold.
President Biden is now halfway through his term, and it appears that he may decide to seek re-election. That's his intention, he has said repeatedly, which means there's talk about their presidential ticket. A new article in the Washington Post quotes some Democrats who are quite frankly underwhelmed by Vice President Kamala Harris's tenure in the role. Is that fair criticism or not? Let's talk right now with CNN fellow commentators Jonah Goldberg and Karen Finney and Cleve Wootson, White House reporter for The Post, who wrote this really compelling and thought-provoking piece as well. Let me begin with you on this, Cleve, because you spoke to more than a dozen Democratic leaders in key states, and they seem to be worried about Vice President Kamala Harris. Why?
Yeah, I really wanted to codify and cement things that we've been hearing in the rumor mill and the grist mill, right? And just talk to as many people as possible about strengths, weaknesses, where really Kamala Harris is at this moment. It's a complex argument, if we're being honest. Folks know that if Kamala Harris is the nominee, is the person, that there's going to be all kinds of stuff that's thrown out of her, right? Race, gender, all of this stuff. And so the question is, can Kamala Harris sort of overcome all of the stuff that will, come her way if she's the nominee? If she's running for president. And a lot of folks that I talk to just have worries, just have concerns about whether she can do that.
I mean, first of all, it assumes obviously that Biden, in fact, will not run, and that she'd be the heir apparent as the vice president. Are the concerns surrounding her portfolio? I mean, she's, been tasked with really splicing the atom at this point for a lot of things she's been tasked with. Is that the concern?
Yeah, a lot of the Democrats that I talk to are like county chairs, the folks who understand the arc of Democratic policies, but they also are dealing with people on the ground, right? And their concerns with Kamala Harris really deal with their conversations with their neighbors, the people that they're going to go out and try to persuade to vote for her. It's not necessarily just the portfolio as much as it is how is Kamala Harris as a communicator? Is she gap prone and does she make mistakes? Does she inspire people? Does she have the charisma to sort of, win the ticket? For a lot of folks, it's really, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance because for many of them have worked a very long time to see a Black woman in this position, right? The big tent party, right? But at the same time, they also want to win. And that's the question. Does Harris have both the big tent aspect, but also the winning ticket aspect? That's really all they're asking.
Well, SNL was asking a question about whether this could get a laugh. Let me play for you what they had to say when they were doing a little spoof on classified documents and whether the vice president had any.
Next, Special Agent Casey Combs will discuss if there were any classified documents at Vice President Kamala Harris's home.
Come on now. Joe Biden won't even give this woman a pen. You think she has classified documents? Please, Kamala Harris with classified documents.
I mean, that was you're laughing. What do you think of it, John?
Well, I think it was funny, but that's mostly why I was laughing. But look, I think that reflects one side of the argument. There are a bunch of people out there who think Harris hasn't been given the opportunities to shine and thrive and succeed. And you hear a lot of that kind of stuff from Harris' world, that the president hasn't given her, set her up to succeed and all that kind of stuff. And then there are a lot of people who I'm more inclined to agree with, who think that she's been given lots of opportunities to succeed, and she's just not that great a politician. She came up in a state where she was good for California, good for winning in essentially a one-party state where she could work the Democratic Party very well. But there's a reason why her approval ratings have been lower than Biden's throughout this presidency. And I think there's also the fact, I actually think this is a very good thing that the Democratic Party is getting out of the business. I wish the Republican Party would, of getting out of the business of saying that we have to vote for someone to, manifest our hopes and dreams and our souls, and instead try to nominate people who can win elections, because that's what parties are for. And the aspirational candidate kind of thing, I get a little exhausted with.
It's what parties may be for, but that what democracy's for.
That Trump can win an election, that doesn't mean he should have been president. That wasn't a good decision. I mean, so it's not just about who can win, it's also about, but more importantly,
what does that have to do with anything I said?
You said it shouldn't be about manifesting hopes and dreams, it should be about whether or not you can win an election.
And I said the original Republican Party would come off that stuff because one of the reasons they nominated Donald Trump is they just thought they wanted a fighter, they didn't care if he could do anything.
Anyway, I feel like, this story, obviously I am close to the vice president. I have worked for women candidates for almost 30 years. A lot of what we're seeing here are just typical tropes. And this narrative comes around and around and around. There was just an interview last week with a gentleman writing a book about the Biden administration. It may have been on your show, I can't remember. And he talked about how she's the person who the president had informed Ukraine about the impending, that Russia was about to invade. But more importantly, here's part of where I think the challenge is. It is always hard when you are a historic first. And they do think that this administration, when they were a campaign, could have done a better job of having more intentionality about understanding, for example, early on, that people wanted to see more of her because they were excited. But the very job of being the vice president is you're not seen. You're behind the scenes. You're the number two. You're in the supporting role.
And we did see a lot of Vice President Joe Biden.
We didn't. There's a lot. When I asked people about, for example, when he visited the Triangle countries, not a single reporter that I talked to could remember that trip.
Maybe it was the gas, we remember.
Exactly. That's what it is. People remember the gas. They maybe remember that he did some of the negotiations around in 2011. My point is just, I also would say that I think we need to remember this role was defined for a white man. And so by its very definition, with a historic first, it's going to look different, it's going to sound different, it's going to feel different. And my experience has been, consider when Cleve, you were there in Tallahassee, Florida, They had to turn away 400 people in the rain. I don't know a Democrat that could get 2,000 people out in the rain. So among the party and the base, she's actually very popular. I know you spoke to some folks who had different opinions. I think what they also talked about is just anxiety about sexism and racism. And, again, I think part of what we have to understand is we have to see her for who she is. I'll give you an example. Early on, I had conversations with reporters about how critical it was. She brought lived experience, different relationships with women's organizations, with reproductive rights organizations. So many of the insiders said, why does that matter? Look at where we are now. That was a critical part of our victory in 2022. And she spent a lot of time talking to Black voters, women, and young people, which really are the core of the party.
Did you reach out to her office for comment?
Oh, of course. Yeah, no comment though from them, not on the record. I agree. I think that race, gender, and equity always play a role in everything that I've been writing about Kamala Harris for 2 years as VP and then in her campaign before that. But I do think that Democrats also have a question about competence, about charisma, about any number of things. I don't think that it's okay to take away, to strip away race, gender, all those matters of equity. But I think that there's...
I do a lot of polling, and she typically polls very high among Democrats. I mean, she really was very critical in Karen Bass's race. Why? Because she was able to help bring out the Democratic Party base. Same thing in New York when we were in big trouble. Who did they call in? Kamala. There were a number of states.
Democrats. They're looking for somebody who can win.
So I understand what you're saying. Democrats say, and I'm saying there are plenty of Democrats who say something very different.
Well, I've talked to Democrats across the board. I talked to ones that were hardcore supporters, the first one to endorse her in South Carolina, the first to endorse her in Georgia, a woman who cried with joy the night that Kamala Harris was inaugurated. But I've also talked to people who have been supporters of Harris, but also have questions, not about what they feel, but about what their neighbors think, about people who would be voting in a general election. And that's what those fears are based, because there is aspiration, and rightly so, but there is also a desire to win. Biden said on the campaign trail over and over again, in order to govern, he also has to win.
Sure. Well, I got to tell you, this is going to be a conversation we'll continue to have. But in breaking news, a woman of color in the limelight judged differently than her peers.
Shocking.
Look, everyone, it's going to be a Super Bowl of historic proportions. 2 Black quarterbacks facing off on the sport's biggest stage for the first time, and it's not at the White House. We'll be right back.
Even the most chill of parents know when it's time to go into protect mode. Nothing kills more viruses on more surfaces than Lysol disinfectant spray.
Are you ready for a fresh new bath or shower? Well, now is the best time with 50% off installation and no interest and no payments for 1 year. Hi, I'm Christina, and it's time to flip your old worn out bath or shower with Jacuzzi Bath Remodel today. Everyone knows the Jacuzzi brand. They're the most trusted name in water for over 60 years. But did you know they can install a gorgeous bath or shower that feels incredible in as little as 1 day? It's no stress and no mess with a lifetime warranty. Now let's talk beauty. You deserve to start and end your day in a beautiful space that feels great and is custom designed just for you. So call or go online now to see the Christina preferred designs like Canyon, Farm, and Urban. Now that's the total bathroom beauty that I love at a price you can afford. And how about safety? Like an ultra low profile, easy entry shower, complete with grab bars and a custom designed seat. You deserve safety and peace of mind without sacrificing style. Because with all the worries in daily life, taking a shower shouldn't be one of them.
Every time I stepped over my own tub, I worried I might fall. I don't have those fears anymore. Jacuzzi Bath Remodel gave me a gorgeous shower that's safe too.
I've been trying to get him to remodel that bath for years. I called and they did in just 1 day.
And at a price we could afford.
With one call to Jacuzzi Bath Remodel, you can effortlessly transform that old, ugly eyesore into the stunning bath or shower of your dreams that you'll love for years to come.
Call or go online to jacuzzibathremodel.com dredlocks.com now to get up to 50% off installation. Plus, ask how you may qualify for no interest and no payments for 12 months. And when you call right now, we'll give you an additional safety upgrade free. Go to jacuzzibathremodel.com or call 800-993-9542. That's 800-993-9542. Call now.
Do you struggle to fall asleep and stay asleep? Qunol Sleep Support has a unique blend of 5 key ingredients that can help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, so you can wake up refreshed. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Against the NHL on TNT. Buckle up here. Wow. Nothing but nonsense. We have the Stanley Cup final on TNT. Let's go. NHL on TNT every Wednesday.
Guys, help me understand something. If hair loss is one of the biggest insecurities men face and it's totally treatable, why haven't you done anything about it? Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, are here to help. Bosley uses the latest technology and science to give you your real hair back permanently. That's a part of fact, but the Bosley guarantee.